Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're distilling the key findings from the top online articles, including our main source betplace.us, to give you a clear guide to the world of online sports betting in France, so you don't have to read them yourself. Okay, let's dive into this.
Let's kick things off with a number that tells a massive story. 42%. That's the one-year surge in online bets in France. I mean, wow. This isn't just a little bit of growth. This market is absolutely blowing up. So what's really going on here?
So first up, let's really dig into this betting boom in France. To figure out where things are headed, you got to understand just how huge and how fast this whole scene has changed.
Okay, get this. Back in 2015, you had about 1.2 million online bettors in France. Fast forward to 2022, and that number has just skyrocketed to 5.2 million. That tells you everything, right? In just a handful of years, sports betting went from a kind of niche thing to being totally mainstream.
And no surprise here, guess what's at the heart of it all? Football, of course. The passion for the sport in France, especially with powerhouse clubs like Paris Saint-Germain, is the engine driving this whole market.
But, with that kind of crazy growth, you have to ask a super important question. How is this all kept in check? How do you bet safely? Well, you got to know the official rulebook.
Okay, so the most important thing to get is that France's betting market isn't some kind of Wild West. It's all governed by the ANJ, that's the National Gaming Authority. Just think of them as the official referee of the whole game. They're the ones handing out licenses and making sure every legal site is playing fair to protect you and your data.
And because the ANJ is watching everything, it creates the standard for what makes a good site. So when you're checking out a new platform, this is basically your safety checklist. That official license, that's your guarantee it's legit. Competitive odds, that means you're getting a fair shake. And of course, solid customer support and secure payments, that's all about protecting you and your money.
All right, so we know what to look for. Now let's get to the fun part, the top contenders. How do the leading sites actually measure up in this super competitive market?
Now, this table is really fascinating because it shows something you might not expect. Take a look. You see a giant like Betway with over 2.5 million users, but its score is only a 3.0. Then you have Melbet with a smaller user base, but a way higher score, a 4.7. It kind of suggests that for a lot of people, a better experience beats just being the biggest name out there.
And speaking of that, when we dug into the sources, our main source, betplace.us, specifically calls out Melbet. With that 4.7 out of 5 scored, they highlight it as a really trusted site among its users.
Of course, this is just a quick look. We've put a link to the full, detailed list from betplace US right there in the description, so you can check out all the top-rated sites for yourself.
Okay, so you've got the lay of the land, you know what to look for. What's next? How do you actually get started? Let's break down the practical steps.
As you can see, the whole process is pretty simple. The really key thing here is how much they focus on security right from the get-go. Verifying your account, using secure ways to deposit money, those are mandatory steps on any legit ANJ-approved site.
And you've got choices on how you want to bet, which is awesome. Mobile apps are amazing for convenience. You can bet from anywhere, which is perfect for live, in-game action. But then the desktop experience is fantastic if you want to do some deep dive research with more stats and a bigger screen to work with.
And hey, before we wrap this up, just a quick reminder that we've gathered more helpful links and resources for you right in the caption for this explainer. Definitely worth a look.
So that leaves us with one final thought for you. Now that you know the landscape, the rules, the big players, what makes a site great, what's going to be the first thing you look for? Is it all about getting the best odds, or is the user experience and feeling secure what really matters most to you? The answer kind of tells you what kind of player you really are.